So,
Poets are supposed to rock the boat.
Daniel Bradley, who says, I've been messing about in the literary edges of Toronto for a couple of decades now, publishing little books and magazines, writing, making collages, and generally being a thorn in the side of the silliness of that oh-so-canned lit we all love. My most recent book, I Am Greater Than My Bipolar One, is from Secret Handshake Books. Lately I have been interviewing the essential and overlooked of the Toronto scene for my magazine, Just Like Cream But Worse. I have been known to post images on my Instagram account. Mr. Bradley?
Hi, I'm Daniel. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to read from two books, two chapbooks, so it's not long. The first one's called Black Dog Math. It came out from Trainwreck Press in BC. The editor's John Goodwin, for those who may know him. He's been around a while. So from Black Dog Math, we have Not Slip, covered in the warrior paint of adolescence, ready to burn it down with a Thompson gun. You don't want that attaching itself to your developing brain. I need your help. My fire ants are loose. Casually appearing in the hall, passing through the wall, mother of bees until we're broke. And then what? And then comes the tanks. You heard it first. Dark powers of destruction help save Fu Manchu, Moriarty, and Dracula. This is about more than super secret government crossword clues. She will make a great mid-afternoon TV talk show host. Premier gravy skin. Stuck gunk in my head. They are on the upper end of the home use skewers. It's the stuff of burger legend. There's no point in good writing. Bad theater kids will wildly overcompensate every time. All games of truth and dare end in regret and tears, and trying to live by what it says during the events of your life that helped shape your character. On a day like today, an unwelcomed ghost. In fact, every rich East Coast girl will probably get butterflies in her stomach for at least once in her life. They are hot, wet, black hole with daddy's credit cards. Don't talk about death wish to the co-workers or purify. Well, the planets and the stars and the moons collapse, fur against the sun going down. I didn't think much about it until we got it in the ground. I'm happy when it rains. You're gonna have to sell a lot of gift cards as they watch their Notre Dame burn. The rich kids and their ironically perfect cosplay beef and pork cuts. The weight of thousands of years being chosen, the shadow from the tomb. Still, everyone is shoved through a little hole, so you pick out a stupid name. Come as you are to my mall, to my atrium. You know you want me, baby. It's still more relevant than Wired magazine. I like poetry, rotten fruit, and flinging my filth. Everyone is like the Oscars with these people. In general, dumb as wood. Thank you. This is another book that came out this year from Secret Handshake Books, which is edited by Bill Bissett, Hart Brody, and a mysterious third person. It's actually nice. It's got a lot of color collages in it, so there's a copy back there if you want to take a look at it. I'm going to start by reading the index to the poems because I've actually always wanted to do that. Index to the poems. I wish I could let it all go. a heavy, heavy, heavy sound. Now you're just another person who won't talk to me. Words and phrases that you may want to think twice about using in front of the CBC. What did you call it before Skull Island? They're going to rebuild the steakhouse, but I'm no good with machinery. The necessary etiquette of violence. You know it's just outside your line of sight. It's when typhoons pretend to be Frida Kahlo. Why don't you mind your own business, you old fuck? The monsters can reproduce itself. You've got to be kidding. I just wouldn't do what I was supposed to do. Mr. Dressup is the only person I know who didn't have to raise his voice in jail. Too old for science, too old for your wife. Oh, it's good to be alive and king of the Caucasians. Written to yourself. More Canadian bullshit or the world's worst collection of creepy and secret photographs. After 1 or 2 decades, friend of the devil isn't so bad. I have fought in the holiest of wars. Well said, accurate, and depressing, the trifecta. Don't let me die without knowing who I am. I'm not being too flash. I am greater than my bipolar 1. I wish I could let it all go. I've collected all the rhetoric that's left over from the last outrage and the last outrage and the rhetoric of the outrage before, piles of rhetoric. And of course, there has been violence, lots of violence, all bad and all wrong for any reason. And the violence piles up in the rhetoric and in the houses in the cities. The rhetoric piles up in the suburbs and the country and the land. It just piles up with the violence and the rhetoric, and no one knows how to act anymore without being the first to be offended. Now you're just another person who won't talk to me. Not as well known as those random bodies from Pompeii, reaching into the night, the girl next door, picking up the pieces, agreeing it was at best a sneak peek into what smut your friends are involved with. Inverse or glory and conquest. Your mom loves anal. Words and phrases that you might want to think twice about using in front of the CBC. Those eggs are jammy. You've got those. I like them on women. Maid Marian on her tiptoe feet, fled into the dark sky, to the moon in a boat, and I keep it close as bowlfuls of misery and terror. Let's see the check. Here's the dagger. You can stab me in my gang sign, Luddite for life. They're going to rebuild the steakhouse. I am a man tuned into these times, and wasn't it me who said, I don't have to answer your sports trivia. I can't control myself, but I can't run. The things in life, they just breed like rabbits, thought leaders, poems of brilliance and charm. You know it's just outside your line of sight, but you look anyway, and shit like that kept us alive. It's not always done in real time. Everyone will want to be a dog. I just open my mouth and I sing, and after a couple of decades, sometimes it can seem dull, indentured. I just want to get closer to you, but I must have passed out in the bathroom. I must have passed out on the balcony. I must have passed out behind the hedge. With wealth and abundance, you know more than I know. The coy allure of Bitcoin. Lieutenant General Dopey. Why don't you mind your own business, you old fuck? NORAD's sole function now is tracking Santa Claus. I've seen this episode. Guac burgers. Too seriously alienated to affect its pose. Too seriously alienated to celebrate. Gigafactory. Good night. Lightmare. I just wouldn't do what I was supposed to do. I will bring you his head and place it on your white piano. What could be more serious than a hayride with wild, wild gifts? The yarn is a nice touch. An evening at the Desaades. I regret my vaccine now. Mr. Dressup is the only person I know who didn't have to raise his voice in jail. Socially distanced drinks. You laugh, and then boom, you're naked. Take a picture of my mental health. It will last longer. She still didn't say anything nice. Who I love dearly, but she is ruthless. Sometimes it's just people not wearing clothes and looking mostly alike. That doesn't add up. Actually, it was a plot. Look it up on Wikipedia. Remember when the Playboy jet was shot down by the Viet Cong and America declared hostilities? And the last poem, I am greater than my bipolar one. Inverse marital problems. Labor very promising. Inverse of friendship, love, happiness. Inverse of moderation. Have it all a days. But that's not why we're here. Fried onion crispers. I'm just a crop duster now. Thank you for your patience. Oh my God, this is great.